If you've ever worn an ostomy belt, you know how uncomfortable they can be. I wanted to make something which would work like a belt, but which would be a lot more comfortable. And here's what I came up with. I started with a tube top I bought on eBay for $5. Then I cut two 4x4-inch pieces of non-stretchy fabric. Using fabric which doesn't stretch for these pieces is really important, and you'll see why later as we go through this. I used a spray fabric glue to fix one of the 4x4 squares on the outside of the tube top, and then I used that same glue to put the second square on the inside of the tube top directly underneath the first square. So the tube top is sandwiched in between these two 4x4 squares. My next step was to sew around the outside of the two squares, and I went around the squares twice. Next I drew a circle in the middle of the square, and the circle is the size of the flange on the ostomy bag. I sewed 2 rows of stitching around the outside of the circle. Now you'll want to sew a little bit around the outside of the line you drew, because if you don't, the hole you're going to cut later will be too small. I put 2 rows of stitching around the circle. The final step was to cut along the purple line to create a hole. You wear this by stepping into the tube top and pulling it up around your waist, and then you stick your ostomy bag out through the hole. Whether you put the flange itself through the hole is up to you. The tube top stretches, but the hole stays fixed because I made the squares from fabric which doesn't stretch. If you just cut a hole in the tube top, the hole itself will stretch when you wear this, and it doesn't do any good at all. I've made 3 of these. They work really well. They're breathable so they don't get hot, and they hold the skin barrier, your wafer, in place as well as an ostomy belt does. Total time it takes to make one of these is about 10 minutes. Altogether. If you decide to try this project, I hope you have fun with it. It's been another midnight production.